The year was 1989. The nation was captivated by a chilling crime in Beverly Hills. Brothers Lyle and Erik Menendez, then in their early 20s, were accused of brutally murdering their parents, Jose and Kitty Menendez. The crime scene was gruesome. The couple had been shot multiple times in their opulent home. Initially, the brothers feigned innocence, claiming they had been out for the evening. However, their spending sprees in the aftermath of the murders raised suspicion. Eventually, they confessed to the killings. Their defense? Years of alleged abuse at the hands of their parents. The subsequent trial was a media sensation. Cameras captured every twist and turn. The brothers, with their expensive lawyers and claims of self-defense, became symbols of privilege and alleged manipulation of the justice system. The prosecution painted a different picture. They argued the murders were motivated by greed, a desire to inherit the family fortune. The jury ultimately convicted Lyle and Erik Menendez of first-degree murder. They were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The case, however, was far from over. More than 3 decades later, the Menendez brothers were back in court. This time, it was for a resentencing hearing. The legal landscape had shifted since their original conviction. California law now required judges to consider mitigating factors, such as abuse, when sentencing individuals who committed crimes as juveniles. While not juveniles at the time of the murders, the brothers' lawyers argued that years of alleged abuse influenced their actions. On May 13, 2025, Judge Michael V. Jesic handed down his decision. He resentenced Lyle and Erik Menendez to life in prison with the possibility of parole. The courtroom, filled with reporters, legal experts, and members of the public, was stunned. The possibility of parole meant that the brothers, once resigned to die behind bars, could one day walk free. This decision marked a dramatic turn in their long and complicated legal saga. It also ignited a firestorm of debate about justice, accountability, and the potential for rehabilitation. Judge Jesic's decision was not made lightly. In his ruling, he acknowledged the horrific nature of the crime. He called it truly horrific, disturbing, and callous. However, he also emphasized the importance of considering the brothers' rehabilitation efforts during their decades behind bars. Jesic pointed to their participation in educational programs, self-help groups, and their clean disciplinary records as evidence of their transformation. He stated, "I do believe that they deserve a chance at parole. However, the ultimate decision does not rest with me." Jesic's words underscored a crucial point. While he believed the brothers had earned the opportunity to plead their case for release, the final decision would be made by others further down the legal pipeline. His decision, he stressed, was about acknowledging their efforts and opening a door, not guaranteeing their freedom. The resentencing hearing was not just a legal proceeding, it was a deeply personal one. Family members, some of whom had been estranged from the brothers for decades, took the stand. They spoke about the positive changes they had witnessed in Lyle and Erik. They shared stories of phone calls, letters, and prison visits that painted a picture of 2 men who had grappled with their past and were committed to making amends. Their testimonies were bolstered by letters of support from corrections officials. These letters, entered into evidence, described the brothers as model prisoners who had not only reformed themselves, but had also dedicated their time to helping others behind bars. The officials praised their work ethic, their empathy, and their commitment to personal growth. These voices, combined with the brothers' own statements of remorse, created a compelling narrative of redemption, one that resonated with Judge Jesic and set the stage for the possibility of a second chance. Section 5. The Road Ahead, Governor Gavin Newsom and the Parole Board. Judge Jesic's decision marked the beginning of a new chapter for the Menendez brothers, but it was by no means the end of their legal journey. Their fate now rested in the hands of Governor Gavin Newsom and the State Parole Board. The Parole Board, tasked with evaluating the risks and benefits of releasing inmates, would review the brothers' case. They would consider their criminal history, their behavior in prison, and the potential danger they might pose to society if released. Their recommendation would then be passed on to Governor Newsom, who had the authority to grant clemency or uphold the Parole Board's decision. This process, fraught with legal complexities and public scrutiny, was expected to take months, if not years. For Lyle and Erik Menendez, it was a waiting game, a period of uncertainty, as they awaited a decision that would determine whether they would spend the rest of their lives behind bars or have a chance to re-enter society as free men. Section 6. A society grapples with justice and second chances. The Menendez brothers' resentencing reignited a national conversation about justice and redemption. Was it possible for individuals who had committed such a heinous crime to truly change? Could they ever atone for taking the lives of their parents? Public opinion was sharply divided. Some argued that the brothers had already received leniency due to their privileged backgrounds and that releasing them would be an affront to justice. Others believed that everyone, even those who had committed terrible acts, deserved a chance at redemption if they had demonstrated genuine remorse and a commitment to rehabilitation. The case became a flashpoint in the ongoing debate about criminal justice reform, highlighting the complexities of punishment, forgiveness, and the possibility of second chances. It forced society to confront uncomfortable questions about the nature of evil, the limits of rehabilitation, and the very purpose of incarceration. Section 7. The enduring legacy of the Menendez case. The Menendez brothers' story, from the moment their parents were found murdered in their Beverly Hills mansion to their recent resentencing, has left an indelible mark on the American psyche. It has been the subject of countless books, documentaries, and television specials, captivating audiences with its themes of family dysfunction, greed, and the dark side of the American dream. The case also exposed the flaws in the justice system and the power of the media to shape public perception. The brothers' claims of abuse, while ultimately unsuccessful in securing their acquittal, brought the issue of domestic violence to the forefront of national consciousness. Their trial, broadcast into living rooms across the country, fueled debates about the admissibility of evidence, the role of expert witnesses, and the influence of wealth and celebrity on legal proceedings. Even decades later, the Menendez brothers' case continues to be studied and debated in law schools and living rooms alike, a stark reminder of the complexities of human nature and the enduring power of family secrets. Section 8. The evolving landscape of criminal justice. The resentencing of Lyle and Erik Menendez unfolded against the backdrop of a rapidly evolving criminal justice system. Across the United States, there was a growing movement to rethink sentencing guidelines, particularly for crimes committed by juveniles. Research on brain development and the lasting impact of trauma had prompted many states to reconsider harsh punishments, such as life without parole, for young offenders. This shift in thinking was driven by a growing recognition that young people, even those who had committed serious crimes, were capable of change and rehabilitation. The Menendez brothers' case, while not directly related to juvenile justice reform, tapped into this larger conversation about the purpose of punishment and the potential for redemption. Their resentencing, regardless of the outcome of their parole hearings, signaled a potential turning point in how society views crime, punishment, and the possibility of second chances. Section 9. A story unfinished, looking to the future. As Lyle and Erik Menendez awaited their fate, the world watched, captivated by the latest chapter in their extraordinary saga. Their case, a tragic tale of family secrets, violence, and the pursuit of justice, had captivated the public imagination for decades. The resentencing, with its glimmer of hope for a second chance, added another layer of complexity to an already convoluted narrative. Would the brothers ultimately walk free, given the opportunity to rebuild their lives outside the confines of prison walls? Or would they spend the rest of their days haunted by the consequences of their actions, their past forever casting a shadow over their present? Only time would tell what the future held for Lyle and Erik Menendez. Their story, a stark reminder of the enduring power of the past and the complexities of human nature, remained unfinished, its ending yet to be written.